Welcome to the Fast Lane Lifestyle with Asafa Powell.
And Alicia
Why
Powell.
you wiggle yourself so?
Trying to wake myself
wiggle
up.
and jiggle. Jiggle your body. Yeah, guys, so it's Mother's Day, although when this video drop, it won't be Mother's Day. But we wanted to do a little special video just to shout out all the mothers and just to have a little conversation, surrounding motherhood and all that stuff.
So you have some questions for me? Is that what that means?
I mean, I don't really have questions, but I can find some. I can dig up some questions, because what is a mother pretty much? What do you think a mother is?
I feel like it's anyone that takes on the role of taking care of a child, because that's the next generation. So putting your love and your attentiveness, your maternal instincts into growing that child. So because there are some people that won't be the one naturally to give birth to a child, but they're still a mom to that child. So to me, that's what it is, because no matter what, it takes a village to raise kids. And when you have that, I would say I've had so many different mother figures, and they all offered me something different. They all loved me. So whether it's an adoptive mom, like a stepmom, your actual biological mom, there's so many, like even like teachers, at some point you look at them as your mom. So there's so many, it's a community. So all hats off to women, especially that if a kid is not even biologically yours and you put in that effort to help raise that child, you are, to me, in my eyes, you are a mom,
Definitely, because I my mother didn't have any daughters, and she pretty much adopted
right.
A daughter and then two, and I consider my sisters,
Right.
and my mother, was definitely a mother to them. She treat them just all of us the same. There wasn't any difference. So, I definitely, I agree with you. Once you take on the mother role, then you are a mother. And there are a lot of people that I call my mothers as
Right.
well. We have a lot of sorry, we have a lot of older people around us, and I consider them to be mothers, because they really look out for us. They guide us, give always motivating us, always giving us advice, in life, and we're learning a lot from them as well, and I think I just grow with that type of respect, where when I'm around, older people, you're just really not only older people, but I'm just saying, older people, I show them the respect,
Right.
and I remember growing up, my no, not when I grew up, but not when I was growing up, but when I grew up, my mom was sharing something with us. My parents, had a tough life. They work very hard, to really get us to where we are today, and I really have to really shout out to my mom, because the time and effort that they put in, and we didn't grow up, like cuddly mushy family. We grow in the church. We kind of grow tough, because we're all boys. But I remember my mom was telling us a story that when she went, she used to travel a lot for work, and when there was a point where she had gotten an opportunity to get her citizenship, and to live in the States, and she couldn't do it because she had to come back home to her 6 boys. So Mothers, they sacrifice a lot, and you know, people who don't respect mothers, I honestly, I don't really know what to say, to them, but mothers have my utmost respect, especially being around you and seeing everything that you go through from start to finish, from I plant the seed
I can't deal.
from I plant the seed until you know the kids are here, I really, I get to appreciate a lot more because I get to experience it for myself.
Right. I guess firsthand and like
Mm,
full time.
mm,
There's no like day. There's day in,
yeah,
no days off. Like it's
yeah,
day in and day out.
yeah, and sometimes you don't understand until they experience. Like a lot of people can't really understand certain things until they get to experience it for themselves. So I definitely have a lot of respect
Yeah.
for mothers,
My
and I mean, like I say, you don't have to carry the child, to be a mother. You have, I
you're
mean, you
once
can be a
you're
mother once you, yeah.
once you're caring for the child, you're
Mm-hmm.
making sacrifices because just to even like grow a child is really hard work. It comes with no manual.
Mm-hmm.
There is no guide to it. So once you've just taken that on,
Mm-hmm.
that makes you a mom,
Mm-hmm.
to step out and take on that responsibility. And I'm sure at the end of the day, if you were even supposed to ask someone that was raised by a mother that was not their biological mom, they
Mm-hmm.
would tell you that's my mom because
Mm-hmm.
of that love and care they put into that child. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, being a mom is comes with a lot of sacrifices,
Yeah.
daily sacrifices. I think my mom also, um, one point in time when I was young, was offered to get her papers to go to Canada. And she also said she turned that down because she said, no, I can't leave her. And
Yeah.
even when I was in Canada and like, struggling and she couldn't be with me, she was still, imagine sending money from Ghana to Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of sacrifices. My mom's a private lady, so I don't
Mm-hmm.
put a lot of her business out
Yeah.
there, but she taught me strength, in being a woman, and always just hold your head up high no matter what. Like life comes with its tides and we just have to learn how to like float with it. But that doesn't mean that also showing emotion, that doesn't make you weak.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, I've seen strength in her, and I've also seen days where she would cry as well, but it never made her like any less strong,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because sometimes you
Mm-hmm.
just need to let it out. But when you're around strong, impactful women that no matter what, they keep going, no matter what, they keep pushing forward because they know they have to provide a better life for their kids, man.
Coughing. Mm-hmm.
um, it molds you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I would say, so being around women like that has really molded me. And even till this day, like I always meet so many inspiring women, inspiring mothers,
Mm-hmm.
especially moms that stay at home moms. All respect to them because it's such a hard job to wake up day in, day out. People were like, some people would be like, oh, you just stay at home. But no, they do a
Mm-hmm.
lot. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're having to basically make sure the whole household is ran. Kids, mind you, your husband is like your kid too, in a
Mm.
sense sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the
Yeah.
moms, the working moms as well, like that's also like another task, like to balance. Because I always say, if you're winning in your career, you have to be at some point kind of like feel guilty or feel like you're losing at being a mom, because you
Mm-hmm.
then have to like miss out on certain occasions, like sometimes the big moments you won't be there
Mm-hmm.
because work. And if you're there for them, you might miss out on some career moments
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we it's always that balance. Once you choose to be a mom, you just
So
keep pushing.
all right. So I have a question, right? Um, I've always hear people say like fathers. Well, it go both ways. So
Hmm.
they say like fathers will play the role of a mother, mother play the role of a father. Do you think that's possible for a father to mother a child?
They would grow differently because
I, Yeah, go ahead.
They would definitely grow differently because men, I don't think men have that maternal like instinct, that
Mm-hmm.
maternal love.
Mm-hmm.
Same way with, I don't think it's very hard for women to raise boys on their
Mm-hmm.
own. Not saying that it's not done. It's done every day because there are single moms out there that do it. But there's just something different when you have that like
Mm-hmm.
masculine role for the child and then that feminine role for the child as
Mm-hmm.
well, you know. So yeah, it's done daily. I'm sure the single
Well,
fathers as well that raise
yeah,
their kids on their own,
yeah,
but it's they're gonna raise them the best way they can
yeah.
in
Mm-hmm.
their best
And
ability.
I believe that I don't know what people are really saying when they say that, but I believe that when if you're a single father, as you say, or a single mother,
Mm-hmm.
as a single father, you can only play the role of a father, and you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
raise that child as the father. You can't be. I don't think you can play a mother role.
No, it's hard
you
because how
know
can
and I
you
don't think a mother can actually play out.
mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you I guess if you have a daughter, then you can have that. I mean, I wouldn't even know how to have a talk with my daughter when maybe like she's maturing, and you know um,
With the
you,
birds and the bee talk.
yeah, all of it, what I
But
mean.
that is like a talk. Okay, so this is another thing that I find that's in our black communities. I hope it's changing now, but
Mm,
growing up, like I know when I got to a certain age, see that was the thing with my mom. She was just very active in that
mm,
department. So whether you like it or not, it's better you have the talk with them or they're gonna be taught from friends that have no idea what they're being talked about.
mm.
So
No,
yeah,
I mean, no.
as a
When
father, it might feel
I mean, like,
uncomfortable.
no, I mean, all right. So when your daughter is me as a man, if when my daughter reach that stage,
Yeah.
we call it puberty,
Puberty.
when them starts then period and all that stuff. Like I won't. I
Like
mean, I
if
guess
you
I would have to
were
read a lot to know,
eh,
but I don't. I
but that's
don't.
where again I always say like let's say it's a scenario you are a single father.
Mm-hmm,
Scenarios of you lean in onto whether it's you find out about it, but then you also have the community. So you have like
mm-hmm.
aunties, grandma.
There you
You
go.
see what I mean? So
There you go.
that's where I always say no matter what,
Mm-hmm.
there's still being a mom like in that scenario. You know, they're
Mm.
teaching. They would be teaching her about things that
But I
you
don't
know.
know if I would be able to teach that because I wouldn't have that experience.
That's why a community
Yeah,
matters. You know.
yeah. I mean,
But
I
some
can
people,
I can
I'm
always read. Sorry, I can always read. And know times and stuff like that.
yeah.
But I can't know what it feel like to explain this, or to
Mm-hmm.
say certain things.
But
You
you would
know.
educate yourself
Yeah.
on. So this would be, you know, your
Mm-hmm.
monthly, this,
Yeah.
that. I'm sure
Yeah.
you
But
know that much,
yeah,
you
but I
know.
couldn't do the full thing,
But trust me, some people
But
do
but
it.
even as a boy, like even you, with the boys here, like certain things you have to ask me because you're not used to having kids with not even your mom. Your mom had two girls, so she's still not used to penis just running around the place, all over the place. Why are they
Yeah,
doing
like
this?
oh, if
Why?
you're putting the diaper on, make sure it's sticking down and
Yeah.
not pointing up, like things, certain things like
Yeah, like a
that.
lot of things you have to be asking me. Is
Boys
this
always
normal? Does this normally
touching
happen?
themselves and all of
Yeah.
that stuff. Yeah.
So, I mean, you guys can really share your views on this. Maybe it's not the right term, you
I
know what I'm
just think
saying?
that it's done daily. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just like you would have to then make yourself like go through the discomfort to get comfortable. But then again, like nobody can do a woman's job better
Mm-hmm.
than a woman.
Exactly.
Nobody
Exactly.
can do a man's job better
Mm-hmm.
than like a
Yeah,
man
cause
because each person has
yeah,
something different to offer,
yeah.
different mindset, different just different attributes
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to put on the child for the child to develop
Yeah.
and be able to
Cause I know I
you
could
know.
learn to comb ear. That's
I mean, you
something that,
did.
yeah, exactly. I used to
You,
catch her
yeah,
ear in one. You
yeah.
know, yeah, it's
You
like
were
certain
doing it,
things.
you
Yeah,
know.
like
So
certain things, but um doing here, I think, is just something that both,
No, but
you have
that's
men who are hairdressers, you have,
yeah.
so it's not a motherly thing,
But that's also
but
a thing where it's like a trait where you're gonna learn. If you're in a
mm-hmm,
situation where you have to do it, you will learn. So it's not like it's not being done daily.
mm-hmm,
It is, but it's just the same thing on it's different when you do have that
yeah,
mother love and the father love. You
mm-hmm.
can see the difference in it,
Yeah, because
Because I think
it's pretty interesting. The more we talk about it, like it's pretty interesting because it's like yes, you start off second thoughts. Can you really can I really mother a child? Like
yeah.
so
I think it just has
it's a
to be you
pretty
would be
interesting
a dad, and I
conversation.
think
Yeah,
men are tough. You're either gonna be very tough or you're gonna be like
yeah,
too like
because you
gonna
still want that. Yeah.
overcompensate
Mm-hmm.
in some departments, because I think I probably would try and overcompensate in some departments. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, like it's not that it can't be done. People do it daily. Some people don't have the choice but to do it
Mm-hmm.
daily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
that's
hats
true.
off to everybody that is doing it daily. We know it's hard. I know it's hard, and this is coming from a two parents household.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's a one parent household, I know it's tough. It's
Yeah.
definitely tough, but all hats off because it's a hard job.
Yeah.
Raising kids is definitely
Big
it's
up.
a privilege, and it's a difficult task, but it's also for me it's really amazing to see. It's like we literally are raising the next generation,
Mm-hmm.
So I just try and put my best foot forward in it daily. And some days, you're tired. Tired is like your middle name, but you keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I respect that. Like I say, being around you daily, just open my eyes to a lot of things, and the same conversation we always bring up about this conversation, the tired conversation. Like you're just constantly tired. Yeah, just
Yeah, it's
tired,
it's
and I mean, I understand. Because when we actually spoke about it, I start to observe a lot more, and like some of the things that you do, I guess that's where the difference is. Some of the things that you do, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to chase them everywhere.
but
Like
it's
you run behind them everywhere. I'll allow them to go and drop and bust them head and something, and then I say you learn.
no, but I don't think it's like I'm chasing them around the place. I just have to be attentive to what they're doing, because it
Yeah,
can
that's what I
either
mean. Yeah, man.
be that they're breaking something, or
Mhm.
like today falling off a chair, and
Mhm.
so there's never a moment where I can sit on the couch and just say, okay, I'm just gonna be on my phone, because that's just not a realistic
Mhm.
thing. Things are gonna happen. Like it's either gonna be climbing up the island or the
Mhm.
dining table or the
Mhm.
grill. So it's like no matter what, I have to get up. It's not that I want to just get up for the fun of it and say I'm gonna chase, because I am
No,
tired, but
man.
it's
No,
just
that's no. I know,
part of it.
But I'm just saying that, where mothers are more, tender and they're nice. When while a father, if them drop, I want him to know that him can get up. I mean, don't have to lay down there and wait for you to come and pick him up. I let them know that you fall, get up. It's not the end of the world. I mean, and that's what fathers are for.
Right. And
And
a mom's job is just never done. Like
mm,
you get up, once you get up, time moves very quickly. You have to cook food, then snack, then bath time, then you have homework, then I have to make sure you're taking your medication, all of this stuff. So it's like you have to be constantly on your feet, and that's just
gosh, okay,
the
mommy,
reality of
okay, my
it.
mommy.
I mean, it's not a complaint. It's just like that's just what
hmm
moms do. Moms just
Yeah, and
operate and function
just one
differently.
thing I want to say, just want people to protect their moms because, right across the world, I realize mothers are getting fight, right across the world. So just protect our moms. I mean, I will always have a mother, you will always be a mother to me and all that stuff. The world
Be a
is
mother to you.
you, of course, no, you are a mother,
Yeah.
not to me,
I was gonna
not
say,
my mother. But in my eyes, you're always a mother.
Yes. Okay, I got
Jeez,
it.
man. Yeah, and like I said, the world is really, going down into a hole, and I just want to, put it out there just to protect our mothers and our women,
Mm-hmm.
and just protect them. As men, we should protect women instead of fighting down women,
Mm-hmm.
and we are the protectors,
Yeah.
and we'll always be the protectors. So, just remember that.
Yeah, and then I guess for me, it's with women, like we don't need to always be thinking we need to be like competitive with each other.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much similarities that we all experience. If it's like heartbreak, if it's giving birth, like it's an
Mm-hmm.
experience that's different but so similar.
Mm-hmm.
Like we feel that pain. So instead of you just see that okay, someone's on a screen, you can't relate to them. There's so many ways, of course, you can relate to
Mm-hmm.
that person. So it's like if we started looking at things in that manner and like that type, looking in the binoculars in that manner, I think maybe there would be less of like, oh, she thinks she's better than me, or
Mm-hmm.
like, less aggression towards each other, because when we unite, we're stronger together. And I think a lot of that starts
Mm-hmm.
from within us. There's too much of a gap, because everything has to be a competition. Kind of like even I remember when I first moved here, and the media and everything, it's like whoever you've dated previously, or who's better, or who's prettier, or
Mm-hmm.
who's this, or who's that. Like
Competition.
when we start doing things like that, we're just creating more of a gap.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you need to put down another woman to uplift another? Like it just
Mm-hmm.
doesn't make sense. Each person is different. Each person brings a different
Mm-hmm.
attributes, different characteristics, but we to the core experience a lot of similarities,
Mm-hmm.
whether brown, white, no matter what your race is as a woman, there's a
Mm-hmm.
similarity that we
Mm-hmm.
all experience.
Mm-hmm.
Monthly, our monthlies, like there's that core value of us. So
Yeah, and I've experienced a lot of what you said, where I realize that women really don't like to see each other prosper in a sense. You have
yeah,
not all women, but
some.
I think majority of women just have this little cat thing. That's one,
Yeah, like
just
even
want
in
to fight on each
sometimes
other.
workplaces.
Exactly, because for me, like in my sport, we as men, like, yeah, we'll act like we don't talk to each other and we don't do whatever. But off the track, you'll see us, in the parties, and we're going off and we're doing whatever. But it's just when we're on the field,
Mm-hmm.
we have that rivalry. We're with women, with women that have been around. It's like it's a different ball game. The minute somebody else come and start to do well,
Mm-hmm.
it's like a cat fight.
Yeah,
It's like that person shouldn't get
mm-hmm.
this, that person shouldn't get that. It's women just need to stop doing that, because in a sense what they're trying to say is that, when, all right, if men was like that when Usain came around, I would be I would have been furious if we were women. But when everybody have a different talent.
Right.
Everybody, you can't control somebody else's talent.
Destiny as well.
Yeah, you can't control it. If somebody come around and they're faster than you, they're just faster than you. Or
Mm-hmm.
if they can play football better than you, or basketball, they're just better. That their talent is just at that level.
Mm-hmm.
You can't control that. So you have to just focus on your own self, focus on
Right.
what you are doing. Just do what you do to the best of your ability, because at the like I said, at the end of the day, you cannot control somebody else, and you can't just go around,
Mm-hmm.
malicing and fighting other people, for their God given talent.
Right, because destiny, like everybody is destined to
Mm,
have a seat at the
mm,
table. Whatever that
mm,
table,
mm,
whatever like is on that,
yeah,
whatever it looks like,
yeah,
that is their destiny, right?
yeah.
And then also keeping in mind that we as women, So when you get to the top, you're creating spaces and opportunity for other women. So you have to remember that if once you've opened that door and somebody else comes into that door and she might be doing it a little bit better than you, it doesn't make you any less of a woman, or it doesn't, but you have to remember you opened that gateway for more and better like generations to come and better the betterment of things for women, you know?
It doesn't make you less of a woman. If you're in a room and you see a woman walk, you swear you're the prettiest in the room, and you see a woman walking in the room prettier than you, don't bad mind the person. You know what I mean? Everybody, we're all humans, but not everybody not going to look the same.
It's stepping stones.
You know what I mean? So, you know, I mean, I just said that because we're talking about women and grudge. Women
I'm not even talking about looks. I'm just even talking about like opportunities. No,
everything. That's what I'm saying. Everything.
Yeah, like
when it comes to women,
career
it's everything.
spaces. Because like with me, if I walk into a room or I'm in a space and I find like I can see that there's a woman that feels like she needs to prove a lot of her stuff, and you can feel that like competitive edge, I would just like back off, you know. And I was having this conversation with a friend, and she will say like in her workspace, if she feels that too, she would just back off, where instead of having to be like we're colliding with each other, there's room for all of us to win. And time and places for everything. Just because she might be winning now doesn't mean that your time won't come. Or if you want to look at it in a sporting way, it's all about like the time, the season, the best of your ability that season, and everybody wins in different seasons, you know. So once you see somebody winning, she's climbed a lot of staircases to get there. So you shouldn't sit there and be upset at that. To me, the way I look at things, I have friends in the modeling industry, and even if I'm not there and working and I see them doing it, the way I look at it, my mindset is, if she's doing that campaign, when I get back, like I can get a job like that, because she's created that she's opened that door, you know. So
show that it's possible,
right? So especially if it's like a Black woman doing something, wow, she just really opened that door that they're gonna start considering more women of color for that role. So it's looking at it that way, and once you've opened that door and you get your opportunity. You get your opportunity and somebody else comes along and they get that opportunity but on a bigger scale. To me, I'm still happy because you know you were the gateway for that. So it's also keeping that in mind that once you're the gateway for things, other people will come and they might you know, get it on a better scale. But that's your blessing was doing that for them, you know. So
for sure. Because yeah, like I said, even in the sports, I remember, you know, when I ran 9.77, before that, nobody knew that that was possible, you know, and, you know, then I ran faster, and then people realized that, oh, you can go faster. And then Usain came and he ran 9.5, and he, you know, proved, you know, that, you know, it's possible. So all athletes know today that's their target.
Right.
You know, that's what they are working towards. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's like I say, it's just, people just open different doorways. If you see a woman, you know, a big store, you know, selling ear products and everything, she just open a door to all women to know that, you know, this is possible. Women can win. All women can win.
Right. And there's room for all of us. Like when you walk into, I know this is such a cliche thing, when you walk into the bread aisle or even the water aisle or juice aisle, there's so many different brands of juices, of bread, or rice, of all of these things. And people still buy it. It's just whatever caters to you that you're going to go for.
Different
so
shoes,
we don't need to make it seem like we're short-handed on things. There's different opportunities, timing on things for everybody. And once we start to change our mindset as women, we can win so much, like on a greater scale. So it's just a mindset, because it's very easy that we're always pinned against each other. Like, oh, she's doing, it's just common. Like even if someone has an ex-girlfriend and a current, like, oh no, you're better. You're like, and women, we need to stop doing that too. Like, stop doing that. We lie to each other a lot too. Let's stop doing that as well. Like, you know, like
women lie, boy. Women lie to each other, man. Oh wow.
Let's try more of the honesty. And sometimes when someone's being honest, we have to also change a mindset of like, it's not always hate. You know, obviously to me with hate, everything comes from paying attention to a person's actions and like how they respond when you're winning.
Yeah.
Between that, you can see when something is hate. And then there's pure honesty sometimes that, because we're so used to this fairy tale of like keep lying to each other on things, that when someone's honest, we cannot handle it. But more open conversations, more safe spaces for women to be able to see how similar we are, rather than, oh, you know, she lives up in the hill over there, I can't relate to her. Like, you'd never know. You'd be quite surprised how much you could relate to that person, because sometimes even if someone's living in a big fancy whatever, you don't know how many times she's in the shower crying. You know what I mean? Not all that glitters is gold.
And not everybody
right?
up on the hill have like look down on people.
Right,
Like
but
some
there's
people,
so
we're very, I mean, a lot of very humble people who want to be around humble people. And I mean, not everybody come from money. You know, some people are coming from the same place that you are now. A lot of people up on the hill coming from that. So those are people you can relate to. Because you want to know how did they get there. You know, they you can relate.
No, but sometimes it's like you feel like you can't relate because you just see the finished products, right? So that's another way where if we would have spaces where women can come and speak, you will then see that, hey, there's so much to relate to that. But I know there is a few spaces, but it's having more of that. But yeah.
Yeah, guys, that's all the time that we have for you today. You know, we can pick up on this. You know, I think we need to get, you know, a guest on to, you know, maybe two more guests.
I have a brilliant guest in mind.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll have some guests for the next one, so we can, you know, talk some more, you know, about this. But yeah, that's all the time we have for you today. You know, and like I said, big up to all the mothers out there. You know, this video might be late, but better late than never.
Regardless, it's Mother's Day. Every day is Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to everybody. And I hope on the actual day, which, you know, Sunday, I hope everybody was pampered and just, you know, relaxed. And to everybody that will be listening and their moms are not here with them anymore, you know, we're sending love and light, and you know, our prayers are with you, and I hope you hang on to like the good memories and everything, because you have to keep that in mind as well. So
all right, guys, thanks for joining us today, and we will see you guys soon.